We are about one night away from finding out about Ryan Garcia's B sample. He himself has even said if the first sample, the sample A, came back positive for Ostarine, most likely the second sample, the B sample, will also come back positive, because in the history of boxing, when fighters test positive, and Ostarine has been tested positive in the sport of boxing before. This isn't something that hasn't happened before, but when the sample A comes back positive, usually the sample B comes back positive. And everyone on social media is saying, Ryan Garcia is cleared. What are you talking about? Yeah, he was cleared for the second banned substance, because they said it was something that the body could have produced, that certain amount. So he tested negative for that. But Ostarine, it's expected that it'll come back positive for the B sample. And, it's all about now just kind of facing the facts. If that comes back positive, which even Ryan Garcia himself expects it to, he still requested it. But, why would he request it if he knows it himself? He thinks it's going to be positive, because he really doesn't believe that he cheated. At least that's what he's portraying to, the boxing fans, the boxing media. So we'll ultimately see what happens. But I'm curious to see how, the suspension comes into play. How will that affect Ryan Garcia's career, if at all? Because I've been telling you guys that usually it's about a 6 month to a year suspension, but a 6 month suspension is pretty standard. So if it is 6 months, was Ryan Garcia going to fight 6 months anyways? 6 months from now, he could still fight in December at the end of the year. So I'm just curious, is this really doing anything to Ryan Garcia? Is this really affecting him and making him, have to deal with a true and effective consequence? That's what I'm curious about. But ultimately, I still, me personally, me being selfish, I want to see Ryan Garcia back in the ring. I want to continue to talk about his career, because I do think that he has talent. Yeah, if he popped, which he did, he popped positive, but if he genuinely didn't intend on doing it, and I know how the sport of boxing is, some of these, for those of you that have never been to a weigh-in, have never been to, a workout or seen a boxer work out in the gym, the way it works is, a lot of the time these fighters have nutritionists, they have strength and conditioning coaches, guys that are giving them supplements. Ryan Garcia said he doesn't really take supplements, but when he does, it's most likely coming from a trainer, it's coming from a nutritionist, or like I said, a strength and conditioning coach. That's pretty standard for boxers, and they're just taking it. So it's not out of the question that this is an accident, but the facts are that the sample A test did come back positive. So how does this come into play? We'll find out tomorrow. Maybe by some miracle it turns out that the sample A is negative, and we find that out tomorrow on May 22nd. But if what happens is what we think is going to happen, it'll come back positive, and Ryan Garcia will have to deal with the consequences, and whatever the New York Athletic Commission rules will be the right punishment or consequence for Ryan Garcia to deal with. Because like I said, 6 months, he's not going to fight anyways, so is it really doing anything? They have to hold fighters accountable, but at the same time, I still want to see Ryan Garcia fight again. That's just me being selfish. That's me being a fan of Ryan Garcia. I don't condone the cheating. Cheating is wrong, and I feel like he should definitely face an effective consequence that shows there's no room in this sport for cheating, no matter if he did it intentionally or not. That he did test positive. The whole point of anti-doping in the sport of boxing is to tell you whether or not a PED is in your system, and something was found in his system, whether it was intentional or not. So for that, he has to deal with the repercussions. But I do understand the business aspect of boxing as well. I know that Ryan Garcia makes so much money to the point where this issue isn't gonna impact him in terms of he's never gonna fight again. I expect Ryan Garcia to fight again, and because he's just too lucrative in the sport. When you make as much money for the sport and you bring as many eyeballs to the sport as Ryan Garcia does, there's no way that you can suspend him for a year or longer, in my opinion, or else a lot of people are going to miss out on big potential paydays. The sport of boxing is going to miss out on mega fights, because if we're facing the facts, Ryan Garcia is one of the biggest draws in the sport of boxing right now, and he might be the biggest draw. And it's him. It's got to be Terrence Crawford, no, I won't even put Terrence right. That was me saying, you know, people that have put on, you know, some of the best performances, but yeah, as good as Terrence Crawford is, he's not the star that Ryan Garcia is. Ryan Garcia stands alone with Tank and Canelo. That's really the only two other really big names in the sport of boxing right now. You know, there's no more Floyd Mayweather. There's no more Manny Pacquiao. It's more like Canelo, Ryan Garcia, and Gervonta Davis right now. Other than that, there's not really a star transcending the sport right now that all people are watching. You could argue maybe Naoya Inoue from Japan, but you know, we haven't seen that transcend in terms of, you know, the generation of ticket sales in the United States and selling a fight here. You know, that's ultimately where it is. You know, Las Vegas is the mecca of boxing. No matter what people say, you gotta come and fight in the U.S. in Las Vegas. And not that Inoue hasn't done that. It's just as he continues to get bigger, we're gonna have to see whether or not that fan base translates. So yeah, I hope that everything works out with Ryan Garcia. Like I said in previous videos, he's gonna have to prove that if the sample B comes back positive like we expect it to, he's gonna have to then proceed with the lawyer. He's gonna have to present his case and present to the New York Athletic Commission that this involuntarily ended up in his system. And if he can't do that, then he's gonna have to face repercussions, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, so I do expect him to, you know, face a potential suspension, like a 6-month suspension. I don't think a 6-month suspension really does anything. Maybe make it like 10. I don't know. I'm trying to be fair here because I really do want to see Ryan, you know, get that Tank rematch. I think that fight's so big in the sport of boxing, but do I think it happens? No, I don't. Not right away, if I'm being honest with you guys, just because of the weight issue. It's not even the financial issue, because Tank has even said, you know, he's always asked about why the negotiations with Devin Haney never, you know, came to fruition in a fight, and he compared it to Ryan Garcia, and Tank was saying that Ryan brings something that Devin doesn't have. It's that fan base. Ryan has a lot of fans, so that's the reason why Devin Haney gave Ryan a bigger cut despite being the champion. That's the reason why Tank was willing to give Ryan Garcia $20 million, but wasn't, you know, willing to give Devin probably that same deal. And Devin was asking for the same deal as Ryan, but he doesn't bring what Ryan's bringing to the table. Even though Devin's a very skilled boxer, I really don't think that one performance shifts my entire perspective on who Devin Haney is as a person. Maybe he doesn't have the biggest, you know, the biggest punch in the world. Maybe he's not a knockout artist. Maybe he doesn't have the best chin in the world, but he's a premier boxer. I'm gonna stick by that. I think he still beats a lot of top 140 pounders and can beat guys like T.O. It's not out of the question. T.O. on his worst day, you don't think that Devin could beat T.O.? But T.O. on his best day with that explosive power, I don't know if Devin can hang with him. So that's a good fight. And then styles make fights at the end of the day. Maybe Devin being in the ring with Tank, he saw something that he's done it twice, so maybe he sees something that he could potentially exploit against Tank. But I think that the power from Tank is just too much of a game changer. It's too strong of a factor. So I can't pick Devin over Tank. You know, I just think that the power is too much. He has that boxing ability, but it always comes down to whether or not you have the power to get the respect of your opponent. And I'm not sure Devin has that power to keep Tank off of him. And that's why I would pick Tank to beat Devin. But yeah, especially with that Ryan Garcia performance, PEDs involved or not, you know, this is the way it works for me. When my brain sees something, that means it can be achieved. So if Devin was hurt, something tells me that another big puncher, even without PEDs, can get caught with the same thing. So, you know, for Devin, I've been saying it, I really do like Devin Haney, but I feel like if he wants to avenge this loss, and people are going to continue to talk about it, criticize him if he doesn't take a Ryan Garcia rematch, because everybody wants to see what would happen if it was clean. But you got the caveat here, and the tricky part is the fact that if Ryan Garcia is clean and it's the same outcome, or he beats Devin Haney worse, that looks really bad for Devin. So that's a big reason why Devin's not taking the rematch, in my opinion, and he's not interested in it right now. But I think if there's the right money on the table for it, he's gonna take it, because it's just, I think there's a lot of money and a lot of anticipation for a rematch, and they could really promote that fight. There's a big narrative for the PEDs and stuff like that. So especially if Ryan can't get that Tank rematch immediately or in the near future, I definitely would like to see a rematch with Devin, because Devin did bag, you know, rounds 2 to 5 against Ryan, but the power was the major factor. And if, you know, PEDs really did play a factor, who knows what could happen in a rematch. I would still probably pick Ryan just because of that left hook. He still landed it at will, so I'd probably go with Ryan still. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Tomorrow we find out about the Ryan Garcia trial outcome, guilty or innocent. We'll see tomorrow what they rule, how the sample beat comes back. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.